Hello, everyone. This is your host, Christina.
Hi and welcome. My name is Christina. I'm joined today by my coaching colleague, Lindsey, and thanks for joining us. Today, we're talking about appreciation. First, what is appreciation?
I find that it allows you to really focus on what's going well,
Hmm.
um, and places your attention on what you want to grow. Being appreciative for the cup of tea that you're going to have in the morning, to what you have in life, um, to I find that it allows you to really focus on what's going well.
Exactly. Appreciation. It's not just the big things, it's also the little things, like you said. Um, so let's kick off with talking about an example of what we are most appreciative of today. For example, me, I am happy that the weather is good, and I like to see that the skies are clear, and breathing the fresh air, going out to the balcony.
And for me, it's really recognizing everything that I have currently, presently in my life to be thankful for, from the food that I have in my fridge, to the friendships that I have, to the my relationships with my siblings, um, to the shoes that I have, to wear on my feet, and they're a few years old, and I'm grateful that I have shoes to wear. Yeah, so just the little things, the fact that I have the time to cook um, myself meals. And
I think that's great. Yes, and cooking is one of those skills where most people are getting it. And thank you for sharing that. Right now, because of the restaurants being closed, your choices are takeout or attempting to cook, right?
being even kind of shifting the lens and shifting the perspective, and allowing yourself to be operating from a state of um, gratitude and appreciation for the fact that we have the time to cook. I believe with social distancing, and physical distancing from others, sometimes it can be common to start to um, experience feelings of fear. And what I love about practicing gratitude is you aren't able to experience joy and fear at the same time. So if you're making that choice to shift your lens from a place of appreciation, then you are flooding your body with um, you're increasing your adaptation energy and creating those new neural pathways, so that when you are experiencing fear, instead of reacting, you naturally will you have those neural pathways from your habits of practicing gratitude in place. So then you'll naturally just lean into, oh, I'm feeling fear right now. What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for the fact that I have this very comfortable chair to sit in. I'm very grateful for the fact that I have clean oxygen to breathe right now. And you instantly shift um, into that state, which can be incredibly helpful and nourishing.
Yeah, and thank you for bringing that forward. That's a very good point. I mean, that's an alternative. And I know some people think, oh, you don't have a choice if you're feeling worried or fearful or anxious. Actually, you do. And you just said it. It's recognizing that you can be grateful for something positive in your life despite whatever's happening around you. Personally, with all this information that's out there, I feel like it's very distracting from life, and grounding is something that I do. And grounding is a method where I choose something that keeps me relaxed and calm. So, for example, a grounding method I use is drinking tea. Like, I will boil the water and not go anywhere, just sit by the stove, and prepare the tea leaves in the infuser. When the water boils, pour it into the cup, let it steep, slowly drink the water, or now tea. And as I'm drinking the tea, I'm thinking, oh, this tea tastes great. It smells good. I'm appreciating this tea. I'm appreciating that I have this moment in time. So, Lindsay, do you have some kind of grounding practice that is your favorite?
I do. May I take a moment to comment on what you've shared that works for you?
Of course, please do.
I find it's so beautiful. Even you explaining the process of which you follow to make your cup of tea. I noticed like you seem very relaxed when you're explaining the process, and it must. I imagine even holding that cup of tea in your hand would be very grounding and anchoring for you.
I feel that right now I don't have the tea, but the act of describing making the tea and then having it to you, it's like, because I've created that neural pathway and now we're talking about it, it's like they're being reinforced. So the positive experience that I've had back then, it's still available for me to experience. And I think it's really good.
Exactly. Yes.
So yes, do you have a favorite method for grounding, Lindsay?
I'm very aware for myself when I practice grounding, I'm sending a signal of safety to my brain and to my body. And the first kind of modality that I bring in is very simple. It's just breathing, breath work. I take a big, deep belly breath, kind of like when a baby's sleeping, you can see its belly rise and fall and rise and fall. So many of us are shallow breathers, myself included at times when I'm stressed. And I notice that when I'm needing to ground, I will take a big, deep breath in and allow my belly to expand. And I breathe in for 2 and then out for 4. And by doing this, I notice that it allows me to kind of root into myself like the trunk of a tree. Yeah, I just really find that it anchors me into the present moment, out of kind of what I call my monkey mind, and into the the truth of what's present and real right in the moment. Belly breathing is when you are breathing from your belly. So if you take an inhale and you notice your belly expanding, and then you exhale and it goes in, and it might feel a little bit funny if you're used to shallow breathing. It'll feel foreign and unfamiliar, but then the more you practice, the more familiar it becomes. The great thing is you can do it anywhere, and you can, if you're at work or if you're on the train, so it's very easy to use.
That is a very good point about you can breathe. I mean, we're breathing all the time, but the belly breathing, you can do that quietly, secretly while you're on the train, for example. So
exactly, yes, exactly. When I'm breathing, deep belly breathing, I will also bring in toning. You can also go ha, and when you're making that sound ha, you can feel the muscles at the back of your neck constricting.
Oh wow!
And that means that we are engaging our vagal nerve, which runs from the core of your brain down through your neck, through your thorax, and then to your abdomen. And by activating your vagus nerve, you're stimulating your parasympathetic nervous system, which regulates your breathing, decreases your heart rate, brings you into the present moment, and out of stress, fight, flight, reaction, and calms the cortisol and adrenaline that are running if you're in a high demand situation or feeling very stressed.
Wow, good stuff, Lindsay. Lots of learning today. I think that's a very good point about the parasympathetic nervous system. And a lot of people use alcohol to relax. And, this could be an alternative to that. I'm not saying don't drink alcohol, but I'm also not saying this is the only method. It's more try different things, right?
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And learn, familiarize your body with different ways that you can cope instead of, um, and maybe be open to other possibilities that could work for you.
Yes, like for example, this is, in my opinion, absolutely free. You don't have to go to a store to purchase a bottle of something. You can just do it even right
It
now.
might feel a little bit funny to make sound other than, if you're, if other than talking.
Yes.
Um, but sound is beautiful, and it's very much, it's a beautiful part of being human. And if it might feel a little funny, but the more you do it, the more you'll for me, the more I lean into the experience, and especially when I notice the benefits of doing so.
That's wonderful. And that brings me to a bonus appreciation point, which is I'm glad to be able to hear beautiful sounds. The birds, I can hear them louder than normal because there's less noise pollution outside from people and traffic.
And that in itself is a grounding practice, using your senses to bring you into the present moment. So listening to the birds and really appreciating them is definitely a form of grounding. But when I'm respectful of my biorhythms, so I make sure that I, go to sleep at the same time each night and wake up at the same time each morning, and I'm very respectful of um, the food that I use to fuel my body. I eat when I'm hungry. I stop when I'm full, and am aware of the food that I'm putting in my body, and cognizant of the function of it. So, for example, eating foods high in magnesium, such as spinach and seeds. Very easy to Google what foods are high in magnesium, but magnesium is a huge component in allowing your body to create serotonin and dopamine, which elevate your state, those feel good chemicals. And just being aware of what I'm putting in my body and why I'm putting it in my body, and how it's acting. The long-term effects I find are grounding, as opposed to not being aware of when I'm eating, or over moments and days where I might be feeling a little bit more emotional, and will emotionally notice that I overeat a little bit. I notice a huge difference of when I'm very respectful and in alignment with my biorhythm when it comes to food.
I love that. I think that's touches on self-appreciation now, because you listening to your body's wants and giving it good things to support that is very important. Like when you mentioned magnesium, lack of that causes muscle cramp. So if you're not taking care of your body and not eating the right foods, then you will have side effects like that, which are easily avoidable just by eating a variety of nourishing food. And I'm talking about fruits and vegetables, not so much processed stuff. It's okay to eat some, but I'm not a purist. I'm not saying you have to be a vegetarian. I'm just saying enjoy a wide variety of things so that you're getting a lot of nutrients from different sources. Thank you. I really like that you shared that. And I really appreciate how open you are. And I'm really feeling that you are taking good care of yourself. And that's really great to see. This is what I appreciate most about this pandemic, is that we are all forced to slow down and stay at home and self-care and do things that we like breathing. It's so pleasurable to be able to breathe. If you've ever gone swimming and taken a wrong breath at the wrong time, you know how painful that can get.
Yes, and to speak to having the time now to be grateful, your experience and sharing in when you make a cup of tea in the morning, and the whole process, turning the water on to boil, and I can only imagine listening to the water boiling plays a role as well. But for some who don't take the time in their very busy workday, work week to set aside that morning time to, make a cup of tea and hold it in their hands and take a moment for um, themselves. Maybe it might be affording them the opportunity um, to be able to be pulled and want to schedule that in their morning routine when when everything levels out.
I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to frontline workers, nurses and doctors who are out there, social workers that are helping others, service and delivery individuals. Thank you for delivering our mail. Seriously, I don't know about you, but I have ordered a bunch of stuff online just because I can, and I feel like it's safer to get them online and have it shipped to my home instead of me going out, kind of thing. So yeah, like couriers, thank you for your service. Seriously, you're doing a wonderful job.
In being thankful for those who are still actively showing up, and I'm very, I hope that they are are using the precautions that they can to keep themselves safe, because their safety is first and foremost the most important. But yeah, I'm very grateful.
A lot of people that do work, for example, in warehouses where they sort and package, and they send out the things that people are ordering online. I think for them it's a great opportunity to have work, and that they can choose to do shifts, and that companies, and I've seen this both in the media and like corporate emails that people send to their subscribers saying, we care about our employees, and their safety is important to us. And I've seen, for example, one of the nursery gardens uh, near me, since the pandemic, when they knew that they would have to be closed because, as you know, citywide closure, it's mandated, right? So businesses shouldn't be operating. They were able to pay their employees 2 weeks for 2 weeks. So the employees didn't come to work, but still they were paid. And that's how great that company was. So acts of service like that, I feel they're very, very good intention. And I appreciate that.
That's incredible to hear. And I imagine for some it's very insightful as to the company that they're working for, and how they're treated during this time.
Yes, and I feel too, and thank you for bringing that forward. Because of this, you basically see how and what the company or the organization you're working for, what their values are at this time. Because if the government is saying you shouldn't be open and you're making your employees work, one, that doesn't feel good, and two, and that's illegal, because you're not following the law, the lawmakers or the suggestions, and you're endangering people by having your business open. So I feel it's like there's companies like that, and there's employees that realize, oh, why am I here? And it's not a bad thing to realize that, because then now whatever happens after this, you have more information as part of that company, and you have full decision making skills to say, okay, that was a stressful time for everyone, that was an extreme reaction, or I'm not going to put up with this anymore moving forward, even when things come back to normal. It's yeah, it's enough.
Kind of falls in alignment with life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. So when everything kind of settles out, they'll certain people will be more well informed.
I love that. I love that whole life is happening for you, because I think the to you, it's a bit of not being responsible. It's like things are coming at you and you're reacting, versus, okay, here's this thing and I'm choosing my actions and reactions to it. It's like I have more power.
Thanks for watching. I appreciate your likes, shares, and comments.